Hi, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins. Welcome to Financial Lovemaking, where we talk about love, life, money, and everything in between. I am here with my buddy, partner, and co-host, Miss S. Tia Brown. How you doing today, Tia?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing really well, really
Your
well.
voice sounds good, so I'm happy to hear that. I'm sure that our listeners and viewers are as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my voice back. Yeah, it was gone, and I couldn't talk for the longest. But here's the worst thing. It's really bad when you can't talk, but it's bad when you try to talk a lot when you can't talk, because then it just makes it worse, and you're sounding stupid. So I've been doing that for the last week and a half. But you and I were talking this morning about Chris Brown, and Chris Brown is this guy who's just had this amazing journey as a performer and as a human being. He's come back from a lot, but I think that he's changed in ways that didn't impress me very much. And I don't know if I told you this, but back when he had his incident with Rihanna back in '09,
Mhm.
I was, for some reason, CNN asked me to come on and talk about it. And one of the things I did was, I tried to defend him because I felt like Chris is a genuinely good, intelligent type of kid.
Okay.
And I said, look, he made a mistake. Let's make him pay his debt to society. Let's let him rebuild, move on with his life, because he's 19 years old at the time. Now, since then, I can't defend him as easily, but there was this story that appeared on TMZ, and you and I were talking about this story, and it involves like this thing with a porn star, and this porn star who's saying, oh, Chris paid me $2,500 to go on a date with him, and then she puts a picture of uh,
Junk.
his junk on her Twitter page, and Chris's legal team got her Twitter account suspended, which I didn't know you could do that. I guess that's what Money and Power does. And so we were just kind of processing this from a financial lovemaking standpoint. I'm not going to really talk about it because I've already said enough, but I want to know, what are your thoughts about sort of what you read with Chris?
Well, I mean, it's a really sad situation. Cagney Lynn Carter is the name of the porn star. And I think it's kind of common practice when there are exceptionally lewd things or harassment being done via social media. You can petition to have someone's account suspended. So I don't want to say that that necessarily is just because he's a star. But the whole situation is just really sad. If it's true, Carter is alleging that Brown paid her to be an escort, and after escort meaning not necessarily sex, she's saying to attend events with him, go out with him, hang out with him. Now, many people will say, why will someone who's rich, famous, and desirable want to pay someone to spend time with them? But we know that when you pay someone for their company, you have a little bit more control, right? At least assume like they're going to go where you want to go, wear what you want them to wear, say and do what you want them to do. Apparently, according to Carter, Chris assumed that sex was part of this deal, and she says it wasn't. Now, a very interesting statement that she allegedly made was that she wouldn't have sexual intercourse with someone who was a woman beater. I found that to be very interesting because she accepted money from him to hang out and spend time with him for, however many amount of hours or days. The amount is allegedly $2,500, which isn't a huge fee, kind of nominal for someone like Chris Brown. But you're making a hard stance at sex. That said, afterwards, she says that he became a bully on cyberspace and probably in other ways too. They might have each other's contact information and things like that. And that's why she decided to retaliate publicly by embarrassing him and outing his behavior. So what does this
And
say for, go ahead.
no, I think it's almost laughable. Just, I mean, okay, you're a porn star who goes out on dates with people for money, but yet you don't expect it to have sex. It's unreasonable for that person to think that they're going to have sex
I mean, as a
after
porn
they
star, your
spent.
job is to actually have
Right,
sex.
right, right. So he spent $2,500 for one date, which right there, that's an expensive date, but that's
And
beside the point.
that's an expensive date for a layman. Chris Brown spends $2,500. He spends $2,500 on
But it,
shoes.
but he, right, but still, just because $2,500 isn't a lot of money for you doesn't mean you shouldn't get $2,500 worth of whatever it is you're paying for, right? Now, I'm not saying that people should pay for sex, but at the
Right,
same time,
right.
I'm not
Picking that up.
no, no, no. But I'm not a Bible thumper. I'm not holier than thou. I'm not one who says, oh, if thou pays for sex, then thou is a bad person. No, I mean there's a sex for money trade off that occurs every single day in our society by many law abiding people. Think about this: when a man is rich,
I knew you were going to
when a
go
man
there.
is rich, when a man is rich, women are gonna throw it at him. Am I lying? Am I telling the truth? You
And he'll
know I'm
catch it.
telling the truth.
Listen, I always say this: men attract women regardless of how much money they make. Right? It's really about the perceived level of attraction. That could be charm, swag, it could be finances, it could be physical prowess, it could be
But
personality.
money helps. Money
Money helps.
always helps.
Money helps. Money helps. I'm not going to lie. In that scenario, rich men have advantages? Yes. Rich men and women have advantages. Beautiful people have advantages. We digress. Continue your point,
Right.
Doctor.
Well, but no. Okay. But putting that aside, I think that there is that question of, like, two questions that come to mind, and I'll ask the first, and then I'll bring the second one up after I let you respond to this. You know, you're Chris Brown. You already have women that dream about you every night, that are kissing your poster in their bedrooms at night. They
Mm-hmm.
love you. They will do anything for you. You have to wonder, why do you pay for sex? It's almost asking, like, why would Bill Cosby drug and rape somebody? You're Bill Cosby. You can get any
But we
woman you
also
want.
know there are other factors to this. Number one, we know, especially when you're a star as a child, I think that's the hardest type of lifestyle to manage. And I've talked about this a lot. There are certain rites of passage that the average person gets to go through, right? You go to school, you meet friends, you have natural consequences for good and bad behavior. People like you because they choose to spend time with you. Your parents have a financial stronghold over you, and that's kind of what they use to dictate your life. All of these normal rules are completely eradicated when you're a child star. You're paying for everyone, you don't get to go to school, and people are nice to you because you're on television and the radio. So, do I find it hard to believe that Chris Brown would pay for an escort? I think that celebrities pay for company all the time. Most of their entourage are basically paid friends.
Well, you're right. I mean,
So,
and then also you brought up a very good point actually before we started speaking about just the fact that there's no uncertainty if you're paying for a prostitute or I guess a porn star who will go out with you but won't sleep with you, which just seems weird to me.
so when you're dealing with a regular fan or regular person who you're dating, you don't know what the end result will be. Even if they are completely enamored with you, there's that moment when he or she gets to decide what they want to do. Right? I don't want to do this. I do want to do that. Or they can change their mind. If you've paid for a service, there's an expectation that you will do what I say. And this really seems to be what's kind of panning out in this scenario where, Chris has allegedly said that you're going to do like X, Y, and Z, whatever they are. And Miss Carter is saying, or a court Cagney is saying that, no, I only want to do sections A and B of our contract, and that therein lies the rub.
and it can be emotionally complicated. I mean, if you are a person that that's sensitive to another person's feelings on any level, you could end up disappointing someone if they think, oh my God, I slept with Chris Brown. Maybe he'll call me tomorrow, and then you don't call because you're off to the next city. If you're a decent guy, I think that makes you feel bad. You don't want to hurt people's feelings. You don't want things to be complicated. You don't want somebody hanging on longer than you want them hanging on. And it seems that with that financial transaction, it's just clear cut. Look, I pay you.
And let me show the flip side of that too. You also don't want to have your feelings hurt. Celebrities are people as well. You get attached to people. You set up expectations. You get lonely. And by having this very clear interaction, it eliminates that vulnerability for you as well.
Yeah, but still, I mean, celebrities. But celebrities can get it. Celebrities. No, haven't you heard the song "I'm in Love with a Stripper"? Like, celebrities can
And I'm
fall in
not saying
love
you won't,
with.
but you have more control in that situation. And I will prove this in one statement. How many celebrities say that they do drugs and alcohol, have had drug and alcohol abuse issues?
A lot.
Right. And what do you think that's part of? That's covering up hurt.
It could be. It could be, but I don't think it's hurt from not having someone want to be with you all the time. I mean, it can happen. It can happen. It can happen. But
it's about having healthy relationships.
right.
So
But
relationship isn't just about having this girlfriend boyfriend thing. It's just about having healthy relationships in general. But
And
go ahead.
no, but I agree with you. But here's the thing: if you're Chris Brown, and let's say that you hire a prostitute, which I'm sorry, that's what it sounds like she is. She's a porn star who goes on dates for money.
Allegedly.
Right, allegedly, whatever. Right.
Allegedly.
Right, there you go. Allegedly is an important word to use here because it is her word against his. So let's say you hire her and you like her, and you get your money's worth for 2,500, whatever that means to you. And let's say you start to fall, have some feelings, and you start to feel a connection. Well, it's just like a video game. If you want to play the game again, you just put another quarter in. You just pay the money again, and she'll come back, and she'll be your girlfriend, wife, best buddy, whatever you want, as long as you keep paying the money.
But that's not a genuine relationship.
It's not genuine, but how many times do you see people that will have relationships that are based on the fact that someone's attracted to them because of their money and their status? It happens all the time where, especially with celebrity men, when I've kind of heard these guys have these conversations. I remember one in particular where a guy said, yeah, I have a friend who was rich and he was in movies and he had a girl that liked him because he was rich and he was in movies and he was older, she was younger, and then he was no longer rich and then she left and he was all sad. And he said, I told the guy, you knew what it was. She knew what it was. Why do you think it was more than what it really was? So I think this happens all the time. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that's a good foundation on which to build your love. But understand, when people are attracted to you, they are always attracted to you for something. And you got to figure out what that something is, because if you lose that thing, they might be gone. Am I
I
right?
agree. My only other point is that I want to humanize celebrities and also show their vulnerabilities. So I don't always think it's a situation where one person is preying on another. And not to say that I think Brown's behavior is right or Carter's, but I think that they're both human and they both have vulnerabilities. But go ahead.
That's absolutely correct. And the last point I'll throw in here, and I'll let you kind of respond to this, is my thought is, when you hear about these guys, okay, you hear about, the stuff with Cosby and just dozens of women. Dozens of women, and this man was married the whole time. You hear about the Tiger Woods thing.
Right.
A lot of all these porn stars just lined about the door. Porn stars you've been with. Chris Brown, being affiliated with interesting women. You have to wonder. What about all these other people, these other women that are lining up to try to have sex with Chris Brown, who is a guy, or let's not even use Chris because we can't confirm the porn star. Let's say Tiger Woods. A lot of women would line up to have sex with Tiger Woods, and he's a guy who has slept with porn stars unprotected. And it's interesting to me because, no, seriously, I'm thinking about the STD thing because there are so many cases where you will see men, sometimes maybe rich, powerful, or good-looking men, or just men who are spoiled for whatever reason, who will sleep with maybe 20, 30, 40 women a year, never go to the doctor, but yet they never run out of women that will sleep with them in a second. Many of whom will have oral sex with them or sleep with them unprotected. That's scary. I mean, does that not make you nervous?
It does make everyone nervous, and it's sad. At the end of the day, you have to value your personal health above all. And we know that many of these women have very different motivations, right? People have different motivations. I hate to make it just gender specific, even if it's more one than the other. But sometimes you just want to have fun. It's a great story to say, I slept with this celebrity. And sometimes you're hoping to build a relationship. So you put yourself in this situation where a decision that you made one night, one afternoon, or in one club bathroom or one Bentley back seat can change your entire life. And it just doesn't change it for the women, because just like that celebrity, if it's a male, can have STD, that woman can have an STD that she's passing on to that guy. Or that woman could get pregnant and it be yours. So both parties have to take responsibility, because pleasure is in the moment, but the responsibility can last a lifetime.
Absolutely. And to me, the best, or the first example that really comes to mind is I remember when I was a kid, and I remember I would listen to NWA, and I remember how much Eazy-E used to talk about all the women that he slept with when he was on the road. It's all he rapped about was women, women, women. And he had a famous line in a song where he says, you have these women that say, we want to F you, Easy, and he goes, I want to F you too. So it was kind of like the original version of Lil Wayne's I wish I could have sex with every girl in the world kind of thing. And then years later, when he dies of AIDS, everybody focuses on the fact that he was dead. But what I observed was a couple secondary points. Number one, he didn't even know he had AIDS until it was full-blown AIDS, which means he carried this virus with him on the road with all these women in all these situations. That's the first thing I thought about. The second thing I thought about was behind every celebrity, death from AIDS or whatever it is, there are literally thousands, hundreds, it maybe thousands of people that they've
Involved.
interacted with who are dying quiet deaths, who are
Right. And the
enduring that
people who
quiet suffering.
interacted with those people.
Exactly, it's multiplicative.
Sure.
So I
Yeah.
think if we want to tie back to financial lovemaking, I think it basically goes back to the idea that sometimes you may be attracted to someone because of their money, their fame, their looks, or whatever, but you could be making a decision that changes your life for good. And so maybe to whatever extent people have the ability to kind of discern that and think that through, maybe we can encourage them to do that. That's my 2 cents.
Absolutely, I agree with you. And we'd love to hear your thoughts on this situation with Chris Brown and Cagney Carter. Does Chris Brown deserve to get in trouble for messing with this porn star? Does he deserve to get blasted on social media for his alleged interaction? We'd love to hear what you're thinking. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye bye.